Hey guys, welcome to the 5 elements of every successful landing page. I'm Claire Suellentrop, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the basics of creating a page that guides people from wondering, what's this, when they show up at the top to, whoa, I need this, once they get all the way down to the bottom. So this information is for you if you have a product that you have poured your heart and soul into, and you know it's awesome and is some way going to change people's lives or change the world, but you're struggling to figure out how to get people excited about it. So we'll start with a quick intro of who I am and why you would want to listen to me. Then we'll jump into the real info, and then at the very end, we'll cover some Q&A if there's any time left. So to start, who is this chick? So for the past couple years, I have served as the director of marketing at Calendly, which is an awesome product. If you need to schedule a lot of meetings, it's super cool, and you can go learn about it at calendly.com. But it's a small software company that, when I started, had about 14,000 users in our totally free beta product. In the time that I've been there, we switched over to a freemium product, and we now, as of this recording, have around 400,000 users in our product monthly. So we've grown super well over the past 24 months or so, and we've done pretty well financially as well. So in the time that I was there, I spent so many of my days understanding who our customers are, what they need, how they think, which meant talking to a lot of people and figuring out what words do they need to hear to get excited about Calendly, what stories do they have to be told, how do we reflect what it is they want. So I did a lot of the developing of the voice of Calendly, creating content ranging from copy on our marketing website to copy inside our app, writing newsletters to announce new features and drive people to start using and forming habits around those features, writing onboarding emails, and a whole lot more. So I now run loveyourcustomers.co, and that's a resource hub that helps tech startups and small businesses online better understand their customers, learn to speak those people's language, and develop a voice that resonates with the people that you want to attract so that they fall in love with what it is you have to offer. In a more businessy way of saying it, I help you increase conversions along your sales and marketing and post-sale funnels. And I work one-on-one with SaaS companies specifically who are entering that high growth phase to start really tightening those sales and marketing and post-sale funnels. So now that that's out of the way, why don't we jump into what we're really here for, which is those actual elements of successful landing pages. And we'll start with this super important one, which actually confuses a lot of people. Number one most important element of a successful landing page is a crystal clear end goal. So the mistake that a lot of people make, a lot of founders, a lot of marketers, when they're writing their landing page, is starting at the headline and figuring out what splashy phrase is going to capture people. But really, to keep your page focused, you want to start at the bottom and work up from there. You want to start by identifying what specific action someone needs to take once they have reached the bottom of your page. So a lot of times, depending on what it is you're offering, that could either be signing up for the app or product that you offer. And that's exactly what it was with Calendly, and that's exactly what is the case with many software companies. It could also be something that's less product-oriented. It could be convincing people to sign up for your newsletter or convincing people to sign up for a course that you're offering. Whatever it is, the thing that people need to do should be very, very specific, and if possible, there should only be one. At the very most, there may be 2, but we'll talk about when that can be an exception. And here's why you need to focus on just one end goal. So check this out. We've got 2 flavors of ice cream. We have strawberry and we have chocolate. Now, chances are you can probably choose fairly quickly which of these you would like if you like ice cream. If you don't like ice cream, I'm sorry. Pretend that this is something you do like. But compare this. Which choice do you think you can make faster? Deciding between strawberry and chocolate, or picking your favorite out of 8 different flavors of frozen yogurt? I'm guessing you can probably choose one of these 2 faster than you can choose one of these 8. And I mean, imagine that scenario. You want to get something sweet, so you go to a froyo shop, and you walk up to these different dispensers, and you're like, whoa, they have peanut butter. I love peanut butter. Oh man, they also have chocolate. Also, I love chocolate. Oh man, they have cheesecake. I didn't even know they had cheesecake. And you get bombarded with all of these different choices. And the more time you have to spend making a decision, the harder it's going to be to just ever pick one. Now, that's exactly what you want to avoid when you're creating a landing page, because too many choices means analysis paralysis. A visitor is more likely to take action with fewer options. They can do it faster, they have to think less, they don't get as tired. So the best landing pages have only one goal. Now, the reason that I say at most maybe two would be ideal is because I know that a lot of people are concerned about only having one goal on their homepage. So home pages you can think of as the receptionist desk of your website. You know, this is where the general audience shows up, and people have different needs when they get to that receptionist desk. Some people need to go to this office or this floor, in the same way that when someone arrives at your homepage, they might need to go to your pricing information, or they want to look at your case studies, or they want to see a demo. So home pages may have 1 to 2 additional goals if absolutely necessary, but you still really want to make the most important goal clearly primary. And we'll look at an example of a company who does that well. So compare that with a landing page, which you can think of as a final destination area of your website. When you're building a landing page, you don't want a visitor to have to click through to anywhere else before they take action, because the idea is to eliminate as much confusion as possible. So let's jump to some examples here. So what we're looking at right now is the homepage for Drift, which is another software company. Drift is a messaging app, and it allows people at your company to connect super quickly with people on your website by messaging them. So the reason that we're on Drift's homepage right now is that they've made it super clear what the primary end goal is of this page. You'll notice that there are a couple options. There's features, blog, pricing. You can go a couple places, but for the most part, your attention is drawn to this primary action, which is entering your email address and actually starting to use the product. And they've kept that really, really clear through the page. So they have an example of how the product would be used, some people who are using it, or companies who are using it. They do let you go check out some other pages if you need to get a little bit more information before you trust them enough to sign up. But even these areas remain minimally focused. So they're regular text, they're blue to prove that they're links, but other than that, there's no flashy buttons or anything around them. What remains in focus and remains most emphasized is getting people inside the app. So Drift has done a great job of building a homepage that has different options and does act like a receptionist desk, but clearly points people in one primary direction as often as possible. So let's take that idea of one clear end goal a step further than even Drift has done with their homepage. Let's go to an actual landing page. Again, consider that a final destination page, somewhere where someone can take no other actions except the single one. So this is ProsperWorks, and it's a little difficult to see just because of what I'm recording, but there we go. They are the quote-unquote #1 CRM for Google. Now, what they are doesn't matter as much as how they have constructed this page. You'll notice that they've got some key information right here. They have a little bit of social proof about who uses them. And then they have this area where you actually put in your name, your address, and you get started using their product. And that is literally it. I can't scroll anywhere past this. There's no other information. There's no links for me to click except get started. This is a great example of a landing page with a super clear end goal and no distractions in the way. Opposite end of the spectrum would be this yoga video website. So I came across Gaia Yoga when I looked up yoga programs, and they sent me, the search result that came up when I looked up yoga programs was this page. So you'll notice a couple of things are very, very different from the ProsperWorks page. Obviously, they're different products, but that's not what we're focusing on right now. We're focusing on how easily distracted I can become when I show up on this landing page. So the first thing to notice is that there's a sign up button right here. Okay, so the instructions here are to sign up to start watching. But in addition to that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different filters or settings or whatever it may be that I can choose also seemingly to start watching. And then beyond that, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so many videos on here that I could immediately click through to. So as a user, I am super confused. Do I have to sign up first to start watching? Can I just begin right now? This is a lot of information to process. I have no idea which of these videos is best for me. This is the frozen yogurt shop example of a website. Gaia, I'm sure, has some great videos on here, and I could use this myself, but there's just so much for me to interpret and process that I'm way more likely to become overwhelmed and leave than to ever make a choice and stay and start to understand what it is they offer. Let's jump to the second element of a successful landing page, and that is a length that matches your visitor's level of awareness. So level of awareness sounds kind of jargony, but we'll break that down. A really common question that I hear in regard to designing landing pages or home pages is my page too long or too short? And of course, there's no hard and fast answer. It all depends on your unique scenario. So the more your visitor already knows about you and what it is you offer, the shorter your page can be, because you don't have to spend as much time telling them how awesome you are. The less your visitor knows about you and what you offer, the more you're going to need to educate them and prove that you understand them and show how you can meet their need. So the longer your page is going to have to be. Now, there are 4 main levels of awareness that your visitor can be sitting at. The lowest of those levels is totally unaware, and we'll go into what that means. The highest being the opposite, product aware. Again, we'll also talk about what that means. But the key thing to remember here is that if someone is totally unaware, you're going to have a longer page. Whereas if someone is product aware, you really only need to give them tiny key details and then just get out of the way and let them pay you. Let them sign up for your product, whatever it may be. So let's jump into that. That low level of awareness, level 1, unaware. This is someone who's never heard of you, they've never heard of your product, they've never even heard of any brands or competitors like you. If they've heard of any of those things, they definitely don't know what you do or what problem you solve. In fact, they don't even know whether they have a problem themselves. So they're not super motivated to change anything. And an example of this might be, let's see, if we go back to Calendly, for example. Calendly is a scheduling tool that simplifies setting up meetings with other people. It takes out the back and forth that you spend in email and playing phone tag trying to reserve a date on someone's calendar. Well, I may have been scheduling scheduling meetings back and forth by email and phone for years and never even known that that was a problem and not even realized that there was a better way. There was a way to save time. So you would consider me totally unaware. If we go up that ladder and we go to level 2, we're talking about people who are pain aware. So these are people who have felt the pain that your product solves, and they might be motivated to fix that pain, but they don't know yet that there is any solution to fix the pain. So if we go back to the Calendly example, if I'm pain aware, I'm someone who understands, God, it sucks. I spend so much time every week in emails back and forth to schedule meetings. Maybe I should get a virtual assistant? Do I share my calendar? That seems like I might lose my privacy. So I'm someone who knows that it sucks, but I don't know that there's any great way to fix it yet. That's level 2, pain aware. Level 3, we're becoming a little more educated. We're solution aware when we're at level 3. So these are people who have felt the pain your product solves, and they're motivated to ease that pain some way, but they haven't heard of you specifically. So if I'm solution aware when it comes to Calendly again, that means I have considered some other options. I've looked into hiring a virtual assistant. I've chatted with someone to see what their rates might be and whether that's a good option for me. I've checked out some other scheduling tools. Maybe I didn't like them that much, but now I know they exist. Okay, cool. I could use software to fix this problem, but I haven't heard of Calendly yet. So then the highest level is people who are product aware. And these are people who know the pain, they're motivated to fix that pain, they know about you, and now they just need to know why you're better than everyone else. So all you need to do is give them the key details and just get out of the way. Let them sign up. A long landing page, going back to the lowest level of awareness, I guess end of the spectrum, a long landing page is really, really well illustrated by a company called Unbounce. So Unbounce is a software platform for building landing pages. So to create this example, I went to Google and I typed in, what is a landing page? And the page we'll look at is what came up. So some explanation here. With the phrase, what is a landing page, you can kind of predict the level of awareness this person's at and how much you'll need to educate them. So if I type what is a landing page, that indicates that I don't really even know what that term means. So not only do I not know what it means, therefore I also don't know how it could solve a problem, how it could bring additional clicks to, or bring additional signups to my product, or bring additional subscriptions to my newsletter. I don't realize what that is. I have never heard of landing page software, and so I'm definitely not shopping yet. I just need some education on what this is before anyone could convince me to buy whatever it is that they're offering. So I'm super low in the awareness spectrum just by having Googled this phrase. That's the indication here. So let's look at how Unbounce builds a landing page to educate me before ever selling me on their product. So here's the page, the landing page that Unbounce has built to educate me about what landing pages are in order to be able to sell me on their product later on. So they start by telling me a little bit about what they do, but they don't try to sell me on their product yet. Notice that there's no like direct sign up button here. The first piece of content that really exists is a why. Why landing pages increase conversions. And you'll notice that they agitate some of the pains that I might be feeling that I'm not aware of yet. If someone comes to my homepage, a bunch of visitors are going to navigate through company information. Visitors see generic messaging, all of the things that really are wrong with trying to get someone to purchase from your homepage. So they're telling me about the pain that I have that I might not even know about yet, and helping me see why landing pages are going to make my life better. So they start, again, with just education, no sales material yet. Then they start to help me understand that smart people use these things. Using landing pages, we're getting 4 times as many leads for our client. Shit, 4 times as leads is a lot of leads. I could maybe use this in my life. Only then do they start to tell me a little bit about their product and what it is and how I might use it. And you'll see that this, about halfway down the page, is the first time they even tempt me to sign up and trial their product. Halfway down. But I still might know enough yet to be comfortable. So they're going to show me a little bit more to ease my fears. We've got all these templates to make it super easy for you to try out this new thing you've never heard of. So it's super safe. You won't have to spend a lot of time building it from scratch. Great. Oh man, look, it integrates with all these other programs that my company uses. Cool. Okay, even better. So they're continuing to educate me before really, really driving home that trial down here. So this is a long page. But the reason it's long is because my search term indicated that I was super unaware and I needed lots of education and reassurance. And see, they continue to reassure me by showing me how happy people are. And at the bottom, there is some support info and some sales info in case I need more nurturing and education. But for the most part, you've got a super clear, long, but very, very education-oriented page. So this level of person, this unaware person, what's the best way to say it? If you're noticing that your target audience is low in awareness, then this is the type of length and type of page you're going to want to be building. Now, we checked out ProsperWorks earlier, and we talked about the fact that there's nothing for me to see beyond their Get Started. So the reason for that is to find this page, I Googled lightweight CRM. And there are a couple of things that are indicated by me searching for lightweight CRM. So from those search terms, ProsperWorks knows a couple of things. They know that I already understand what a CRM is and why it can help me. They already know that I understand how hard my life is without a good one because I'm searching for lightweight CRM, not what is a CRM. I'm clearly looking to try something, maybe even purchase something. And even higher up on the awareness scale, I know other competitors are out there whose solutions are way too clunky and annoying for my needs. That can be indicated from this term lightweight. I'm trying to describe exactly what it is I'm looking for. So they know that I'm very, very high up on that awareness scale, and they don't have to tell me what a CRM is. All they need to tell me is, hey, this is super trustworthy. It's built for Google. This is super trustworthy. It's been talked about in all these publications. It's going to be super easy. It's recommended by the G Suite. It's, again, trustworthy. And that's it. That's all they really try to educate me on, because they know that I don't need much more than that. If anything, they just need to get out of my way and let me get into their product. So the higher aware your target audience is, the shorter your page can be, just like ProsperWorks. So moving to number 3 in the elements of every successful landing page, a logical order of information. So the reason I bring this up is that once you know your page's end goal, your next step is to figure out, what is your target visitor thinking when he or she lands on this page? Now, one way to do that, which we've just talked about, is by figuring out the search terms people are using when they come to your page. Whatever way it is that you're identifying this, the next step is to figure out, how do we guide that person's thinking to move them toward our end goal and motivate them to take that action? Well, what your visitor's thinking is going to vary based on their level of awareness, but you can guide that thinking by designing your page like you're having a conversation with them. And there are several things your visitor wants to know by the end of your conversation. So shout out to Copy Hackers, who is the original organization that created this concept. But we're going to talk about messaging hierarchy. And we're not talking about actual copy or actual images that go on your page. We're just talking about the concepts that you want to address in a logical order of conversation. So the first 10% of your page is all about matching your visitor's stage of awareness. And that goes back to, again, do I have to educate this person? Do I have to get out of their way? Whatever that may be. But the rest of the page should focus on a series of details in this order. And a hard and fast rule like this, there's always times that you can break the rule, but if we're talking about the basics, this is a great way to start sketching out the hierarchy of messages on your page. So the first thing is, what do you do? What does your software do? What does your product do? And after that, why, as someone who's never heard of you, or has heard of you but doesn't know much yet, why should I care? Why is this important to my life? Do others care? As in, should I trust you? Do people like me use you, know about you, like you? Only then do you ever want to start getting to how your product does what you say it does. And after that, you'll want to remind me, hey, if you use us, this is how much better your life is going to be. Look at these differences. Look at these results. Also, if you sign up with us, you're totally fine because XYZ. XYZ could be, if you're not happy, you get a refund, or you can start a 14-day trial, or 100% of people have positive experiences, whatever it may be, an added layer of trust. And then finally, after all these things have been added to your page in some way, again, by copy, by video, by graphics, finally, after all this, is your visitor most likely to trust you enough to take the action you want them to take? So let's look at a couple of different examples here. We'll look at one strong one and then one that needs some help. The first one we'll start with is BidSketch, which is proposal software. They have a very, very logical order of information on their site. So I've actually added a couple of notes to make this easier to understand, because BidSketch's landing page, actually their homepage, this is their homepage, is very text heavy. So there's a lot to process. But the first thing that they answer is, what do you do? / what do you help me do? We help you, or we create professional client proposals in minutes. Okay, cool. Now I understand kind of what this whole thing is. But why should I care? Why does this matter to me? Notice that after that, they say, they add, well, there's a couple of things they include to help me understand why I should care. Not only do they create client proposals for me, if I'm someone who needs proposals, they do it in minutes. So they speed up a process that maybe I'm struggling with right now because it takes forever. And then they also answer that why should I care, along with do others care in the next line. They use a quote, which helps me understand, oh, look, other people are using this thing. And it makes me realize why I should care. This cut down my proposal time from 3 hours to 45 minutes. Plus, it looks super profesh. Well, shit, I want to cut down my proposal creation time from 3 hours to 45 minutes. I want to look professional. So they're using a lot of telling me how this works in my life and helping me trust before they ever try to get me into the product. And notice that there is a sign-up form here, but they're not trying to get me into the product yet. They're not trying to push me that hard. This is actually a gift to me. Enter your email below to get a sample proposal that I can use without ever having to sign up for their product. That's pretty cool. Okay, so you're giving me free stuff. So after that, they go down to, how do you do what you say you do? And they actually tell me, this is proposal software that saves hours. There are electronic signatures included. And it shows me that they integrate with all of these different things. So they're moving in a specific order in relation to this hierarchy. So BidSketch does that really well. And they have quite a long landing page. If you want to check it out, I would recommend going to bidsketch.com. And it's obviously spelled exactly like this. And you can read all the way down. But if we spent time on it here, we would be here for like half an hour. So let's go to a landing page and actually a home page that needs a little bit of help. They don't quite take the order of information into account. So we're going to talk about Ipsy here. And Ipsy, I'm not entirely sure what they do because nothing tells me. This is the entire homepage. This is it. There's no other information. Now they do kind of tell me what they help me do. They help me discover my new favorite mascara, eyeshadow, eyeliner, and this goes on and on. So it's something that sends me products, 5 beauty products, $10 a month, free shipping. Okay, so they're gonna mail me 5 beauty products for $10 a month. I get that. But they've completely ignored all of the other information that I may be looking for if I've never heard of them. So what do? They kind of told me that. Why should I care? Didn't tell me that at all. Do others care? I have no idea. I really don't know if anyone else uses this thing. There's no proof of that. There's nothing to make me feel safe or to make me feel assured that this is a popular product that people like me are interested in. They don't tell me how they do it, how it's going to make my life awesome. All they do is say, hey, we send you makeup for $10 a month, and then they want me to get started. That's a lot to ask of someone who's never heard of your product before. So you're going to have people who come here and hesitate because, do I really want to take time to sign up for this thing if I don't even know like what it's about? It's $10 a month. Do I really want to spend $10 a month? Am I going to get a trial? There's so many decisions. There's so many things I'm wondering, so many questions I have. I don't want to really deal with this. And then someone abandons. So when it comes to building your landing page, especially if you're a new product or a new company and you don't have a lot of people who recognize your name yet, you want to start by having this conversation on your page and developing that trust before you ask someone something as serious as getting started and looking at and trying what it is you offer. So we're moving right along. We're over halfway through. If you can divide 5 into a half presentation. But jumping to number 4 of the 5 elements of every successful landing page would be a headline explaining what someone gets, not what you do. So what's so important about this is that unconvincing headlines talk about your product. They're all about you. They're you-centered. We offer this. Our product is so cool. Convincing headlines talk about how your product makes someone's life better. And the reason they're convincing is because when you use a headline to talk about how you make someone's life better, that person starts to picture your product as a part of their life. So, concrete example here. Let's pretend you sell mattresses. No one gives a shit. No one cares about mattresses in a real way. Unless you work in the mattress industry, I don't know anyone who wakes up in the morning and is like, man, I love mattresses. What people really love and what people want, what they're looking for, if they're shopping for something like this, is to feel like this, right? They want their life to be better. They want to wake up feeling rested. They want to wake up feeling energized for the day. They want to wake up feeling fresh. I guess it'd be nice if there was always sunshine all the time like this. Or maybe, maybe they want to feel really regal. Maybe they want to feel really, really luxurious. And so they're looking for high-end mattresses. Instead of feeling refreshed, they want to feel like, damn, I bought myself an expensive mattress and I am going to sleep like a queen tonight. Whatever it may be, they don't care about this, and a headline that says something like, we have great mattresses, is not compelling. A headline that talks about how happy and how refreshed you're going to be, that could be compelling, especially to someone who's feeling the pain of insomnia or the pain of back aches because they have a bad mattress. Or, selling the luxurious lifestyle of someone who wants to buy a high-end product. That's going to be compelling, way more than we have expensive mattresses. So obviously, we're going to look at some real brands that do this nicely. We'll look at one that does this nicely and one that could learn a little bit about this. So this is Plated. Plated is one of many out there now. It's become a pretty common phenomenon. Many dinner ingredient delivery services. But you notice that they don't start by telling you that. They start by talking about what your life is going to look like with Plated in it. It's very rhymey and cute. That's not the point. Plated nights will be your greatest nights, right? They're starting to help you paint a picture of what your world is going to be like with their product. They eventually tell you this is all you need to cook delicious dinners delivered. So they tell you that they send you ingredients. Okay, that's a little bit more functional. But they start by making you imagine your better life. We're all overworked. Most of us are overworked anyway. And we get to the end of the day, we've been at the office or at our desks, whatever, 8, 9, 10, I don't know, however many hours. And we're hungry and we want to hang out with our loved one or our friends or our family. We don't want to go to the grocery store and buy ingredients and then come home and prepare everything and go find that recipe that you bookmarked like, 2 weeks ago. There's all this stuff in the way of me having a great night. And Plated is helping me understand that with this, all that's out of the way. I can spend time with the people I love. I can have great food. And it's going to be so much easier. So they're helping me think about my better life way before I ever think about what their product is and how it works. So opposite end of the spectrum here, Earthbox, which is a subscription box of classic gluten-free, vegan, and diet boxes, a monthly box of healthy snacks. Notice that these headlines are all about what the product is. They tell me that it's GMO-free, organic, natural, and those might be, this is really distracting, the scrolling thing. So let's go back here. Those might be important qualities to me in what I like to shop for. I might be really interested in vegan products. Actually, I am. I'm vegetarian, and vegan is even better when possible. That's great, but this isn't helping me understand why the hell I would want a snack box. How's it going to make my life better? How is this any better than me buying snacks when I'm at the grocery store? How is this any better than eating the free snacks that my office building carries? They're not helping me put this product in my life mentally. And so they've got a headline that is not compelling, and I'm just like, I'm not really interested in buying this. So this is the example, if we go back to the mattresses, this is your cheap mattresses or mattresses now headline versus Plated nights will be your greatest nights, which is the wake up feeling awesome or wake up feeling like royalty headline. Puts the product in your visitor's life. This just makes your visitor think about the qualities of the product, but they don't see it as something that they could actually identify with or use. All right, we made it to the end. We're at the 5th element of successful landing pages, and that's language that your happiest customers naturally use. So there's a couple things to unpack here. Notice that I'm talking about your happiest customers. The idea being that if you've got a product that people already like and are paying for, you want to find more of those people, right? You want to bring in more people that are going to be happy to pay for it and love using it. So if you can figure out the vocabulary of your happiest customers and use that vocabulary on your landing page, guess what? You're going to start attracting the same people and resonating with the same types of people. So this is where your speaking my language actually gets literal. Your visitor is waiting for a clue that you get them, that you understand the world they live in, and that you have something that is going to work in their world. So using words that they themselves use is that clue. If you don't know exactly what words your target audience uses, you're not alone. When in doubt, write clearly and simply. Avoid jargon, avoid buzzwords, avoid a million different words all smashed into the same sentence. Go for simple and clear and easy to understand. Now, there are a couple of really, really great concrete ways to start understanding your target audience's language, which is honestly the topic of an entire different webinar, because we could go into that and talk for hours. But the way to get started is to start talking to your customers regularly, systematically. And that could be in a number of ways. If you have a support team and you have customers that are writing in and they're asking questions before they've purchased, maybe they're not customers yet, but they're asking questions before they've purchased the product. They want to know if you offer XYZ feature, or they want to know if you fit with XYZ software they use. Look at the words they're using. Look at the vocabulary they use. If you've got happy customers that write in and they tell you, oh my God, this saved me 3 hours a day, then you know that that's important to people like them. And you can include, hey, it's going to save you a shit ton of time on your landing page. You want to start getting into the habit of listening to how people talk about what it is that you sell or that you offer. And again, that's a whole nother webinar topic. But this is where you get sticky, really, really compelling copy without having to make it up. And I know way more people who hate writing copy than I do people who love writing copy. So consider this like the shortcut to coming up with really, really great copy. So let's look at two companies who you can really tell from how they've structured their landing pages. Probably are doing a great job of listening to their customers, and one who might not be. So this is a screenshot of the homepage of Gusto. Gusto is HR software. And you notice that they don't just describe it as HR software. It's HR for people who do everything. And the reason I want to call this out is that I can just hear, if I were talking to someone who works in HR and I said, what do? You know that person's going to say, I kind of do a little bit of everything. They have very likely talked to their customers and asked them to describe what it is they do every day. And they've had people say, I do everything. I do payroll, I do benefits, I do this, I do that. So this is so human. It's so simple to understand. And not only is it human, they've actually got like a very, very normal, non-stock photo-y person on this page. She's a little stock photo-y. She's against a white background, but she's not wearing a corporate suit from 1991. She's wearing modern clothes. She's in a very modern office. She looks like she fits in the world of HR today. So this just looks real. It looks easy to trust. And if I read this, I can tell that this is a company who gets it. Similar, totally different product, but Full Story is software that lets you, as a company, view how customers are interacting with your website so that you can understand why they're not buying things, why they're leaving. And the way they've done it is really beautiful. But they've actually taken questions that their customers are asking, and they've added them into the homepage. So let's pretend that I own an e-commerce store, and I see that a lot of people are adding items to their carts, but then they're abandoning. Well, I might want to know who's adding items to their cart but not converting. That's probably a pretty common scenario that full story customers face. So they've taken those terms, very likely in words that their real customers use, and they have a really, really cool demo play where they actually show how a customer might use the software to answer that problem. So what's awesome about this is that they use language that their real customers speak in, and then they actually show, here's the product solving that problem, answering that question for you. Here's how it's going to fit right into your life as it is right now. Here's how it's going to make your life better. And we can actually watch a quick demo of how they do that here. So they actually type in who added items to cart but didn't convert. And then they show me, as a user of their product, checking my own website to see, okay, here's someone, they're adding stuff to their cart, great, okay, I want them to buy those pants. Awesome, adding it in. And you can actually see yourself using their software, viewing what your customers are doing. And then I can see exactly why someone on my website read something that led them to leave. So this is a great example of a software company using superhuman, very relatable, not superhuman like superhero, but extremely human language to help me understand how their product fits into my life. So final example, and this is the opposite end of the spectrum. I want to pull up the Schedule Once homepage, and they're actually also a scheduling tool. But you'll notice how really kind of unhuman, non-human, robotic, I totally forgot what this was called, headline. Kind of robotic, their headline sounds. Make more connections with an integrated scheduling platform. And the reason I bring that up and refer to it as not human or unhuman, if unhuman's a word, is when was the last time you talked about an integrated scheduling platform? You know, when you're thinking about your workday, do you say, God, it takes forever to schedule meetings. I need someone to fix that problem for me. I wish I could schedule meetings faster. Or do you say, God, it takes forever to schedule meetings. I need an integrated scheduling platform. You know, this is very unlikely how people actually communicate. So when I go to this site and I read that, I don't immediately feel like they've gotten me the way that I, as an HR person, would feel like Gusto has gotten me. They understand me. As someone who manages a website, I feel like Full Story gets me. As someone who's really busy and spends a lot of time scheduling meetings, I don't really know if Schedule Once gets me. And so it's harder for me to trust that I want to scroll through the rest of their page. So again, language that your customers, your happiest customers, naturally use is what's going to give people that sense of trust that leads them to learn more about your product. So the next thing on our list was questions and answers, but we are actually out of time. I've rambled on long enough. If you do have questions about building a great landing page and what it might take to do that, check out loveyourcustomers.co. I am doing my best all year long to publish really, really informative stuff like this, so that if you're doing, if you're a scrappy marketing team of one, you've got some help. And also, if you go over to loveyourcustomers.co, you'll be able to sign up for my newsletter. And the address that sends out those newsletters is my real address. So I respond when people email me. I actually read the things you're going to send. I hope this was super helpful. And if it was super helpful, consider sharing it with someone just like you. Have a great one.